Hello, good morning everybody. If I'm audible, just let me know. Hanji guys, good morning everybody. If I am well audible and visible, just let me know. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna start the session for today, right? So let's look at the big news that we have in front of us. Okay. So the big news is coming is from the BRICS, that is, BRICS is a platform for global south, says Modi, right? I think this point is absolutely clear to you that Modi ji has landed in Johannesburg to attend the BRICS meeting. Now, BRICS is a very, very important platform if we have to consider the geopolitics that comes from the BRICS, let's say that the grouping we have. Plus, it also represents one of the most powerful countries and economies that we are seeing right now in this particular day and age. So BRICS is a very important platform. Yesterday we discussed the importance of BRICS as well, that we also do not want that there shall be a hegemony of USA only. And yesterday I also talked about this particular fact that India wants to be the leader of the global south. India wants to be the voice of the global south. And when I mean by global south का मतलब है जो अंडर डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं और जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं या जो लीस्ट डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज हैं उनकी वॉइस कौन है, दैट इज इंडिया. एंड नाउ व्हाट मोदी जी हैज रीआइटरेटेड दैट ब्रिक्स इज द okay, let there's some technicality fault over here. Okay, so BRICS is the platform for the global south. So these are the points that you can directly mention in your answers. I hope you are able to understand this. If there is any ever question in GS paper 2, कभी भी कोई question आता है, मान लीजिए GS paper 2 में, right? So they are talking about, let's say it's a question of IR, international relations, then you can mention these particular lines because these are the official statements that it is a platform for the global south. You can start your answer like with these statements or you can end your answer with these particular statements. So what is BRICS? It is a platform for the global south. I hope you are able to understand this. The importance of BRICS is also very, very important considering the size of the economy that it basically has. One thing you have to also remember that we know that there are certain institutions which are dominated by West, right, which are IMF and World Bank. So in response to this, there was a particular thing that was there in the BRICS as well, that they opened their new development bank or NDB bank, right, or we can say the bank that was created by the BRICS countries. So those are also the things that are very, very important to understand, that they want to create a certain parallel infrastructure which is basically underlining the hegemony of the western countries. But what we have seen, I think सबको पता है कि IMF में अगर हमें को भी लोन लेना पड़ जाए, we have little reserves, then it comes up with a lot of conditions and lot of, let's say, we can say lot of inhibitions that come on a particular country when they have to ask money from IMF. Like when India asked from money from IMF in 1991, India had to come up with certain reforms in the form of liberalization, privatization and globalization. As Sri Lanka has asked for the bailout package from IMF, it has to come with the certain inhibitions and they had to undertake certain reforms in their country. Only then they were allowed that yes, they would be given the loan from the IMF. So India also want to create with the help of BRICS a parallel architecture, infrastructure in context of financing, right? I hope these points are clear to everybody. Yesterday we also discussed this a lot in detail because there was editorial that was directly focusing on the BRICS part. अब BRICS की मीटिंग चलेगी तो बहुत सारे editorials दिखेंगे आप लोगों को BRICS के related and you guys would be able to have a better picture of BRICS. Okay. Now, so Chandrayaan 3 is all set for be touched down today, right? So this would be the great news if it lands safely and we have this mission that would be accomplished, right? So all our best wishes are with this particular Chandrayaan. Okay. Moving to the next part. अच्छा, अब ये आर्टिकल बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है, इसे ध्यान से पढ़ेंगे, ठीक है? Okay. Now, over here, the matter is inflation pressures may linger, but food prices to ease soon. Now, this is an article that is directly related to inflation part. Now, let's try to have an understanding that what has been the cause of the uncertainty that we are witnessing right now in the context of inflation, particularly in food sector. one of the thing that I think everyone is aware of this particular fact, that this inflation that has risen so much is basically due to the increase in the food inflation that could be highlighted to the growth of the inflation. बट मिनिस्ट्री सेइंग यार ये फूड इन्फ्लेशन तो कम हो जाएगी आने वाले टाइम में, बट ओवरऑल इन्फ्लेशन की अगर हम बात करेंगे वो जो प्रेशर्स है हो सकता है कि वो और टाइम के लिए रहेंगे. नाउ द क्वेश्चन ओवर हियर इज what are the reasons, what are the global reasons and what are the domestic reasons that has led to this particular problem of inflation in the country. So let's try to see the points, then we will try to discuss them in broader limelight. First of all, they are saying as per the latest food price index of Food Agriculture Organization, food inflation showed an uptick in July after a continuous decline since April 2022. देखा जा रहा है कि फूड इन्फ्लेशन के प्राइसेस धीरे धीरे बढ़ने शुरू हो चुके हैं. टर्मिनेशन ऑफ ब्लैक सी ग्रेन इनिशिएटिव डिसरप्टेड द सप्लाई ऑफ व्हीट एंड सनफ्लावर ऑयल. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, वी विल ट्राई टू डिस्कस दिस इन डिटेल एज वेल. टर्मिनेशन ऑफ ब्लैक सी ग्रेन इनिशिएटिव. नाउ कमिंग टू द डोमेस्टिक डिसरप्शन, interruption in the supply chain of tomatoes due to the white fly disease in Kolar district of Karnataka and the swift arrival of monsoon in North India caused a surge in the tomato prices. Tur dal price also spiked due to the deficient production. Now, these are the factors that has been said or are the major reasons अगर हम बात करते हैं कि क्यों इतनी ज़्यादा महंगाई देखने को मिली है. Now, let's try to discuss them in detail, right? So, this is a very, very important part. Now, first of all, we have seen inflation that has gone beyond the 6% mark. Beyond the 6% mark, right? Inflation rate beyond 6%. This is directly you can attribute it to food inflation. We can directly attribute it to food inflation that has risen very significantly. As a result, overall, if we talk about headline inflation has risen. Now, headline inflation की जब हम बात करते हैं, it includes food and fuel prices. Very important. It includes food and fuel prices. But when I talk about core inflation, we do not consider the food and fuel prices. One of the things that you have to understand is when I talk about headline inflation, it includes food and fuel inflation. But when I talk about core inflation, then it doesn't take into account this food and fuel inflation. So can I say one thing? अगर food and fuel को हम include नहीं कर रहे तो core inflation कम रही होगी? Say yes or no. Quickly in the comment box. If we are not including food and fuel inflation prices in the calculation of core inflation, so obviously core inflation कम रही होगी. हाँ जी. Quickly. Yes sir. Very good. So core inflation has been around the range of 4.7 to 4.9% mark. So it is well within the limits. But problem is not of the core inflation. Problem is of the headline inflation that we have witnessed the increase in the prices of food and fuel. Now the question marks are related to what are the reasons for this rise in the headline inflation. Now there are two reasons that they have contributed. One are the global reasons and one are the domestic reasons. One of the global reason is the termination of Black Sea Grain Initiative. Now this initiative, first of all I will tell you that it was signed in, first of all, it was signed in July 2022 between Russia, यूक्रेन एंड टर्की. ठीक है, इन कंट्रीज के बीच में साइन हुआ था. बेसिकली इट वाज अलाउइंग टू एक्सपोर्ट द फूड ग्रेन्स फ्रॉम द लेट्स से दिस पर्टिकुलर ब्लैक सी वाया बॉस्फोरस स्ट्रेट. कि फूड ग्रेन्स को हम इजी एक्सेस प्रोवाइड करेंगे और इजीली सप्लाई करने की कोशिश करेंगे, बिकॉज वी नो यूक्रेन इज अ ब्रेड बास्केट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एंड वी डू नॉट वांट डिसरप्शंस इन द फूड सप्लाई चेन मार्केट. बट इसका एक और पार्ट भी था डील का कि जो रशिया के प्रोडक्ट्स हैं उनको भी मार्केट मिलेगी कहां पे? यूके के अंदर. बट जैसा क्या हुआ कि रशिया के प्रोडक्ट्स को इतनी मार्केट नहीं मिली, सो रशिया विड्रू फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर इनिशिएटिव दिस पर्टिकुलर ईयर. रशिया ने इस इनिशिएटिव से बाहर निकाल दिया कि भाई तुम हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स को तो जाने नहीं दे रहे हो, तो हम यहां पे भी इन प्रोडक्ट्स को जाने नहीं देंगे, क्योंकि ये डिसरप्शन आनी शुरू हो गई, जिसकी वजह से बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जिनके अंदर अगर हम बात करें, वीट की बात करें, सनफ्लावर ऑयल की बात करें, तो यहां पे प्रॉब्लम्स आनी शुरू हो गई और इनका जो इंपोर्ट हो गया दैट बिकेम वेरी वेरी expensive. So that is somehow resulting in the increase in the food inflation all across the world, and its impact is also visible in India as well. So one of the reason could be termination of Black Sea grain initiative, और ये जो transport होना था food grains, it were to happen through Bosphorus Strait. So this strait becomes very very important from our examination point of view, and the location of Black Sea becomes very very important. Now these are the things that they have tried to set could be the global reasons. Now when it comes to the domestic reasons, they have said there are two major reasons. One is the arrival of the monsoon in northern India. I think सबको पता है कि कितनी problems आई हैं monsoon की वजह से northern India में. The havoc and the damage it has basically created. Infrastructure problems आई हैं, road टूट चुके हैं, so there is not enough supply, timely adequate supply that is happening because of the loss of infrastructure, you can say of the roads as well. And second thing is basically white fly disease in Karnataka. Now Karnataka accounts for, if we talk about maximum production of tomatoes in our country, but because it has been hit with this particular disease, as a result it has a direct impact on the supply of the tomatoes, which has directly resulted in the increase in the prices of tomatoes. So these are the two major reasons that have been said that could be the domestic reasons behind the increase in the prices that we have witnessed in the times of food inflation. Now along with this, they have also said that one of the more reason that we can attribute is that tur dal prices have also increased, और इनकी आउटपुट जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा कम हुई है. ये हमने दो लेक्चर्स पहले या दो सेशन पहले भी डिस्कस किया था कि प्राइसेस ऑफ लेट्स से tomato may try to ease out in the upcoming time, but prices of pulses might increase over the period of time because of the lesser output that we could see in various pulses because of lesser area that was sown under the pulses. So this could be a problem that we can see and witness in the case of domestic reasons, right? So problem है inflation की, वो सामने दिख रही है. Food inflation कहीं ना कहीं इसका एक बहुत बड़ा जिम्मेवार था अगर हम बात करते हैं जो हमें inflation देखने को मिली, and that inflation is nothing but headline inflation. And I want to tell you one thing, headline inflation in our country is being measured by CPIC, that is Consumer Price Index combined. Combined means rural plus urban. I hope this point is clear to everybody, and the data of this CPI combined is given by NSO under MOSPI. NSO under MOSPI. So these are the points that you have to see as well, and there was a particular thing that was mentioned in the newspaper as well, that this is the, I think, one of the highest increase that has been witnessed since CPI methodology was changed in the year 2014 related to change of the base year. I hope you must know this particular fact, that CPI base year is earlier was 2010, now CPI base year is 2012. So these are the few key points that you need to understand when you are talking about consumer price index, when you are talking about headline inflation, when you are talking about core inflation. And one of the more thing that you have to understand as well, the dearness allowance that is basically given to the employees, central or state, is based on the inflation witnessed by consumer price index. So if we talk about dearness allowance, it is also based on consumer price index. I hope these points are all clear to you guys. What is headline inflation? What are the reasons that have basically led to the problem of the inflation in the country? These are both global reasons as well as the domestic reasons. And I'm telling you this why, because this could be a potential prelims and a mains question and a very, very important aspect of your economics as well. Because a lot of things gets clear when you are aware of the situation that is happening across the country. And this inflation targeting is the main purpose of the monetary policy that we see when our monetary policy committee frames the monetary policy. But this year they know because the prices will come down soon, so as a result they haven't changed the repo rate, they have kept it unchanged at 6.5%. अगर यहां तक clear है, type yes. Okay, so there is nothing important over here. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब ये मणिपुर का आर्टिकल है, ये अभी हम थोड़ी देर में डिस्कस करेंगे. सेक्शन 8 ऑफ 4 ऑफ द रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट. राइट नाउ this is an important thing that had come in the earlier sessions as well, that is public tech platform for frictionless credit. Now we will try to discuss this more in detail. Public tech platform for frictionless credit. Now let's try to see. Now, here the discussions are on this particular platform, that is public tech platform for frictionless credit. Now, this is the new thing that is being developed by the RBI, and it is very, very important for the one particular purpose that you can see in front of your screen. It is the frictionless credit. Now, the problem that we have seen that when, let's say, any bank has to pass any loan to any particular entity, मान लीजिए किसी particular entity को कोई loan pass करना है, then obviously we need to get all the details that we can find related to this particular entity, that what is its income, have they taken any previous loans from any particular banks, whether they are able to repay the loans or not, and accordingly they will try to decide that how much loan we shall give to this particular person, is this particular person able to repay the loan that he is asking for, and what shall be the interest rate that we shall charge on this particular person. So these are all the scrutiny that happens before a bank lends a loan to this particular entity. Now, this scrutiny is very, very important, because banks also do not want that, let's say, if they have given a loan to someone and this loan doesn't come back, so obviously it will reflect in their balance sheets, that will be termed as NPA, or what we can call it as non-performing asset. So these are the type of things and the problems that are being faced by the banks. So as a result, in order to make sure that people also get the credit in a very efficient manner, in a very simple manner, plus banks also doesn't, let's say, have to deal with the problems like non-performing assets. So there is a platform that is being aggregated together for this frictionless credit. Now, one of the things that you need to understand is, when a person is, let's say, in these scenarios, because the scrutiny process is so much difficult, a particular, let's say, maybe a farmer is not able to get the loan from this institutionalized sectors. ये बहुत बार देखने को मिला है कि भाई फार्मर को लोन नहीं मिल पाता इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज सेक्टर से, क्योंकि स्क्रूटनी इतनी ज्यादा है. आपने अपने आसपास देखा होगा, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर द फार्मर टू गेट लोन. मे बी इन द अर्लियर स्टेजेस ही हैडंट गिवन द लोन, राइट? सो देयर हैव बीन सर्टेन एप्रीहेंशंस बाय द बैंक अबाउट अ पर्टिकुलर फैमिली दैट बिलोंग्स टू अ farmer family. So there are a lot of apprehensions, right? So as a result, person is not able to get the loan from this institutionalized sectors or from the formal sectors. So as a result, this farmer obviously would go for which sources? That is the non-formal sources. Now here then is total exploitation that is being carried out by these non-formal sources. बैंक से लोन मिल नहीं रहा, तो बैंक से लोन नहीं मिल रहा तो क्या करेगा? वो आसपास लोन मांगने की कोशिश करेगा, फैमिली से मांगेगा, फ्रेंड से मांगेगा, रिलेटिव से मांगेगा. अगर वो लोग भी नहीं दे रहे हैं तो एक इनफॉर्मल सोर्स है या एक नॉन फॉर्मल सोर्स है जिसको हम कहते हैं मनी लेंडर. सो मनी लेंडर जो गांव का होगा वो उसको मान लीजिए लोन दे देता है, but the loan that will be going to the farmer, obviously it will be at a very high interest rate, and it will be according to the terms and conditions of whom? The money lenders. And here comes the debt trap circle that the farmer itself gets engulfed in, and as a result creates a lot of problem for the farmer. So as a result, it is being thought that why not we create a certain platform where every information is being there at one place, which makes it very, very easy for the banks to have the scrutiny process related to a particular entity. जितने भी इसके पहले क्रेडिटर रहे होंगे, जितने भी बोरोवर रहे होंगे, जो भी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट्स के पास, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स के पास, वेरियस स्कीम्स को ये अप्लाई करी होगी, वो सारी की सारी आप एक जगह पे क्या कर रहे हो? यू आर एग्रीगेटिंग एट वन प्लेस and you are feeding it to the banks. Now this scrutiny process that was taking a lot of time, now it is available to the banks at a very immediate level and at a very simple level. So as a result, banks just need to have the required information, and then if all the things are right, they can easily pass the credit to these particular areas which are very, very important. I think सबको पता है the majority areas that we want the banks to give loans are the farmers, marginalized sectors, dairy farmers, or from micro and small medium enterprises, right? So these are the areas where we think that banks shall be passing the loan, because these are the people who are not able to get the loan on time. Basically यही लोग होते हैं जिनको लोन नहीं मिल पाता. बाकी जो लेट्स से एक मिडल एक इनकम ग्रुप के ऊपर होते हैं या जो अमीर लोग हैं, रिच लोग हैं, दे आर एबल टू गेट द लोन बाय हुक और बाय क्रूक, बट दीज आर द पीपल हु आर नॉट एबल टू टेक द एडवांटेज ऑफ द लोन. As a result, this platform has been created so that it will solve the problem of NPA as well for the banks, plus it will create a mechanism where each information would be there at the hands of the bank that could be used in a very much simpler manner, because scrutiny process will become very much easier, and as a result this marginalized section will be able to get the loans in time. Now in order to do this, in order to make sure that they are able to implement this project, they have started the pilot project in certain states for this particular scheme, that is Kisan Credit Card. I hope this point is clear to everybody. Now the scheme for this, for the pilot purpose, has been launched for WIT, that is this Kisan Credit Card. हाँ जी, इतनी चीज सबको क्लियर है? अगर तुमसे क्वेश्चन आ जाए कि प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं बैंकिंग सेक्टर के अंदर, एनपीए की प्रॉब्लम आ रही है या लोगों को टाइम से लोन नहीं मिल पाता है, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, सो यू हैव टू मेंशन दिस पब्लिक टेक प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ आरबीआई फॉर दिस फ्रिक्शनलेस क्रेडिट. और ये बनाया किसने है? आरबीआई का इनोवेशन हब है जिसने इस पर्टिकुलर प्लेटफॉर्म को बनाया है. सो आई कैन राइट इट एज वेल, इट इज बीइंग क्रिएटेड बाय आरबीआई इनोवेशन हब. ये चेक कर लेना, वैसे मेरे ख्याल से इनोवेशन हब ने ही बनाया है, right? So this is the important article that I wanted to discuss with you guys. It is very very important from your GS paper 3 point of view and from your prelims point of view as well. Okay, moving to the next part. Now this article is not that much important, but just you need to know the two provisions of the Representation of People Act, that is 8(3) and 8(4). Right? So I will try to tell you in a very short manner that what is this 8(3) and what is 8(4). 8(3) is related to if a person or a sitting member or a member of a parliament or a state legislature, if he is convicted and sentenced to, let's say, 2 years of imprisonment, then he shall stand disqualified. Very important. तो वो क्या बंदा हो जाएगा? Disqualified हो जाएगा. This is a provision that is being there given in the section 8(3) of the Representation of the People Act. Section 8(4) that has been now struck down by the Supreme Court, or it has become invalid after the Lily Thomas judgment. Now Lily Thomas judgment I will tell you what it is, but Lily Thomas judgment के बाद section 8(4) क्या हो गया? खत्म हो गया. But section 8(4) था क्या? कि अगर कोई ऐसा पर्सन जिसको कन्विक्शन मिली है और उसको सेंटेंस हुआ है 2 साल का, देन ही हैज द टाइम पीरियड दैट इज ऑफ 3 months टू अपील टू हायर कोर्ट. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, 3 महीने का टाइम है कि वो हायर कोर्ट्स में अपील कर सकते हैं और उतने टाइम तक वो डिस्क्वालिफाइड नहीं होंगे. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Now this was a very much a contradicting thing that was given in the section 8(4), that a person who has been disqualified might be given 3 months, and after that, let's say, if he is able to save himself, then he could be, let's say, not be any further convicted or sentenced to imprisonment. आपको कन्विक्शन दे दी कोर्ट ने, सेंटेंस दे दिया इंप्रिजनमेंट का. अब आपके पास 3 महीने का टाइम है. 3 महीने के अंदर अगर आपने अपील कर देते हो कोर्ट के अंदर और फिर वो केस चलेगा, स्टे ऑर्डर मिल जाता है, तो आप वहां पे सजा से बच सकते हो. बेसिकली ये सेक्शन 8(4) somehow was basically doing what? It was infiltrating criminals into the politics. So as a result, this criminalization has to be stopped. So therefore, the Lily Thomas judgment said this is not the matter. A person stands disqualified as soon as the court's orders have been passed. There is no time period that shall be given to the sitting member for the appeal for, let's say, 3 months. So as a result, this particular section 8(4) became invalid. क्या टाइम पीरियड मिल गया इसको? ये इनवैलिड हो गया. अब यहां पे ये जो बात कर रहे हैं, इट इज बेसिकली रिलेटेड टू द इंप्रिजनमेंट और द कन्विक्शन दैट वाज डन टू होम? राहुल गांधी जी, राइट? सो उसी के रिलेटेड है. थोड़ा पॉलिटिकल बातचीत करिए, उसके हम डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे. बस आपको ये पता होना चाहिए 8(3) क्या है, 8(4) क्या है और लिली थॉमस जजमेंट किसके रिलेटेड है. राइट गाइस? ओके. नाउ दिस इज आर चंद्रयान 3. अगर आपको ज्यादा इसके ऊपर पढ़ना है तो आप ये सारा पढ़ सकते हो. इट इज अ वेरी गुड infographic that has been made over here. Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2, Chandrayaan 3, लैंडर में क्या है, ठीक है, कैसे हो रहा है. So it's a very beautiful infographic that you can see and watch it for yourself, right? चलिए, now यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं है ऐसा. जो लूना 25 था जो फेल हो गया रशिया का मिशन, उसके बारे में बता रखा है. बस आपको नाम पता होना चाहिए, लूना 25 मिशन ऑफ रशिया that has been failed. Now this particular question is on protecting the biodiversity of the northeast. there's a particular case that was going in the state of, I think, Meghalaya. So there the High Court has basically said, fostering tourism, undertaking construction projects and developing infrastructure are the ways through which states generate their revenue and create employment opportunities. Obviously, if we have to talk about northeastern states or the Himalayan states, obviously they would have to do what? They have to bring the people in order to enjoy the beauty that their state has. So as a result, they will foster tourism. In order to boost tourism, they have to develop certain hotels, restaurants, they have to carry on the developmental works. But all that developmental work is coming at the cost of the environment. Though Northeast is industrially backward, deforestation, floods and existing industries are causing serious problems to the environment in the region. I hope this point is clear to everybody, that deforestation is a problem, floods are a problem and the existing industries are a problem. Central and state governments, they have to develop infrastructure. Obviously, there is no doubt about this. Generate revenue. Obviously, there is no doubt about this. Create employment. Obviously, no doubt about this. But they have to do it through sustainable policies. Very important. No one is against development. No one is against the development that you want to undertake for a particular state, because development से ही क्या होगा, आपके देश, आपका स्टेट का रेवेन्यू आएगा, इकोनॉमी बढ़ेगी, लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलेगी, पॉवर्टी दूर जाएगी, इनइक्वालिटी कम होगी. बट अगर आप वो सब कुछ कर रहे हो, इट शैल नॉट कम एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट. दैट इज द प्ली all over the country, and it has been reiterated by the High Court as well, that you need to bring in certain sustainable policies. Otherwise, the things will start to happen that has happened in the state of, let's say, Himalayas, or we can say in the state of Himachal and Uttarakhand. उत्तराखंड में जोशीमठ में लैंड सिंकिंग चल रही है. हिमाचल में आपने देख लिया क्या हो रहा है, फ्लड्स ही फ्लड्स हैं, रोड्स टूट चुके हैं. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ लॉस ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी एज वेल एज लाइफ्स एज वेल दैट हैज हैपेंड इन द स्टेट ऑफ हिमाचल. एंड व्हाट वी कैन से, इट कुड बी द रीजन ड्यू टू अनसस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. बिकॉज जब अनसस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट होती है ना, फिर इंपैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा पड़ता है अगर हल्की सी भी बारिश आ जाए, थोड़ी तेज बारिश पड़ जाए, राइट. सो योर foundation and policies needs to be very strong so that they are able to adjust to the impact of the climate change, whether it is excessive rainfall or lesser rainfall. And if you will have less trees, obviously the soil becomes very loose and it creates a chance for the landslides. I hope this point is clear to everybody. Okay guys, I hope this point is clear. Nothing important over here अगर हम यहाँ पे डिस्कस करें, ठीक है. कुछ ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ अगर हमें डिस्कस करना पड़ेगा आज के इस पर्टिकुलर न्यूज़पेपर में. वही चीज़ें चल रही हैं, अनियन के प्राइसेस ये वो, ठीक है. एंड दिस इज इट गाइज, एंड वी आर डन विद द टुडेज एनालिसिस. सो देयर इज नथिंग इंपॉर्टेंट ओवर हियर. यू कैन सी, अगर एक दो न्यूज़ होगी, उससे ज़्यादा कोई और इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ नहीं है. सो दीज वर द इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ दैट आई वांटेड टू टेल यू. द ब्रिक्स न्यूज़ इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, द फूड इन्फ्लेशन न्यूज़ इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, सेक्शन 8.4, सेक्शन 8.3 एंड RPI, our Representation of People Act and Lily Thomas judgment is very important. Then we try to discuss the public tax reform from frictionless credit. That was also very, very important. So thank you so much guys. Take care and we will see each other tomorrow same time 9 AM. अच्छा, क्लास कभी ना 1-2 मिनट पीछे भी हो जाती है तो टेंशन मत लिया करो, ठीक है. क्लास हमेशा स्टार्ट होगी. That is a promise from my side. Thank you so much. Take care and enjoy the lovely day that we have in Chandigarh. I don't know about you guys, where you are, let's say, staying, but it's a beautiful weather in Chandigarh. Enjoy the rains if you are in Chandigarh. Thank you so much. Take care.